Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is December 28th, I believe, 2020. This is episode 165, and today we're going to go back in time, looking at Marvel's greatest comics starring the Fantastic Four. This was a 25-cent comic with big 64 pages by Marvel. And it's a collection of previously published comics over the years during the 60s. This came out in 1971. The one we're going to take a quick look at in here, though, is one that was printed, I believe, in 64 or 65. I looked it up. I think it might be 64. And it has a special guest star. But before we get to that, just want to get into this. This is in really poor shape. I bought it at the store for a few bucks. Not 25 cents, though. That would have been awesome. We're going to have our first commercial ever on the Temple of Tomes, and it's for a Polaris submarine for $6.98. It's big enough for two kids, over 7 feet long. Boy, controls that work, rockets that fire, real periscope. Firing torpedoes, electronically lit instrument panel. So, yeah, I don't know if this company's still in business still, but that was a lot. You got a lot for $6.98 back then. Wow. But let's move on to the main event here. And this is when the Fantastic Four meets the Beatles. It's a very, very goofy story, but it is written by Stan Lee. And I think this is something it was probably a backstory, the secondary story, a throwaway story. It starts out with the Human Torch and the Ever-Loving Thing. As you can see, their hijinks are right into it, where the Thing is swinging a hydraulic jack at Johnny Torch as Reed and Sue look on. But what happens is Johnny's and Ben Grimm's girlfriend see that the Beatles are in town and like, woohoo. And just at that moment, the Beatles walk right behind them. They say, hey, wouldn't that be great if we get tickets for tonight and we'll take Johnny and Ben? And they said, yeah, let's do it. So it's a very, very goofy story. So they talk... Johnny's for it, but Ben has to be kind of talked into it. They get stuck in a traffic jam along the way to the concert because everybody's going it. So Johnny sets a fireball off to distract the crowd while Ben moves vehicles out of the way, and finally he takes the cab they're riding in and lifts it up to the second floor fire escape so they can all get out and go into the theater in the back. So they're coming the backstage. They run right past the Beatles. It's like, at first they don't realize it. And of course, what's really funny is the Beatles don't say a single thing in this whole episode. But as they're up here on this catwalk by the backstore, the backstage door, suddenly there's a guy that runs in, the theater manager, saying, we can't pay you, Beatles, because the cash box has been stolen. And it turns out that the thieves happen to be, so Johnny and Ben go after them. They see that they track down the thieves in this convertible, and it turns out the thieves are all wearing Beatle wigs. They were posing as the Beatles, and that's how they were able to steal the cash box so easily. So, very silly comic. Looks like Johnny gets hit by a few bullets or something there from at least 3 of the Beatle imposters. The driver apparently was just dressed regular schmo. But just kind of a very, very corny cartoon. As they go. I guess they run into an amusement park. They're riding the roller coaster, and their wigs fall off when Ben Grimm moves the track. So I'm assuming nobody died in this since they all landed on the Ferris wheel. But yeah, a wonderful story here. Wonderful story. But I just thought it was great that and then when Johnny and Ben get back to the concert, it's already over. They missed it, so they're gonna tell the gals are gonna tell them all about it. But anyway, if you did know, the Fantastic Four had met the Beatles, or at least two of them had, and very briefly. You can see Ben Grimm trying on one of the Beatle wigs there too. So, just kind of a not really a recommend, just something for fun. Tomorrow there'll be I'll pick up some comics and we'll go over some new reviews. But I kind of ran out this week and I'm reading a couple trades and I just haven't finished them yet. So I hope you enjoy this little blast from the past as the Fantastic Four meet the Beatles. Well, at least two of them. And as always, this is Indie Comics Jones from the Temple of Tomes. Please like, please subscribe. We'll see you next time. Leave comments if you like. This is Indie Comics Jones from the Temple of Tomes bidding you adieu.